Look, today, more than ever, you have to educate. So if you can answer the questions that your prospects are asking online, you're going to win this game. Now, that's marketing. It's all marketing. The challenge I think people have with that model is it's not fast. It's that sprint versus marathon again. It takes time. Welcome to Opportunity Knocks. I'm your host, Todd Patton. We got a solo podcast today. I'm going to be talking about sales versus marketing. This has always been a debate that people, always ask, hey, what do you think? Where do you put your money? Sales, marketing. And let's first look at an analogy here. Let's look at the farmer versus the hunter, because that's the easiest comparison I can give. Back in the day, when you needed something to eat, we had to hunt, right? So we had to go find our food. And those hunters did really well back then, because that's you go find it, you get it, and that's it. Farmers, it's a slower process. They're planting the seeds, and if they plant the wrong seeds at the wrong time, maybe the winter, they don't eat. But if they do it right, if they farm correct, they're going to have a lot of food. And farming versus hunting. So let's think about that comparison. How about this one? How about marathon versus a sprint? So farming, marketing being that marathon, it's a long-term play. And the sprint or the hunter is your sales. So I got to find a sales team. I'm going to give them 100 leads. They're going to call every day. They're going to send emails. You're hunting. And I don't know about you, but that's never a good way to get business, in my opinion. I feel strong about this. I think that you need to have calls coming in, people wanting you. So people coming to you saying, I saw a video on you, or I read an article that you wrote. I'd love to talk, pick your brain for 5 minutes. That's inbound. Here's another one, inbound versus outbound. So I don't want to focus on outbound. Look, people, how it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it's different. Now, especially with AI and all the technology and stuff, consumers are smart now. And not to say they weren't smart 20 years ago, but they didn't have the resources, I mean, think about it. Yellow pages. They would literally, and I can remember it when I was a kid, if we needed an AC work done on our house, my mother or father would say, go up, grab the yellow page book. And back then it was a huge book that was probably 6 inches thick. And I'd grab it and then it opened up to A, go to AC, and then I'd look at the pictures. And usually it's the first one you saw, you called AC company, whatever it was. But that was the psychology of how we bought back then, is we did it based on here's something that I need, and here's my resources, which in that example is the yellow pages. But as Google came to life and as technology just continued to grow, people look at this and say, wait, I have all these tools now. So I can literally go to Google and ask a question. Who's the best AC company in Parkland, Florida? And then, not that Google's going to know the answer to that, but at least I can get a review. And people trust Google, by the way. They think that Google knows the answer, so they ask Google as if it's a person. And we all know that's not the case. But that's the psychology of how consumers think and ultimately buy. So let's use that example. Now, that person who used to search in the yellow pages is now going to the computer, or better yet, they're going to their cell phone and voice. They're asking. They might be asking Siri, what's the best AC company? Google, what's the best? So now we have a list of websites. But inside of that search, the results, I see videos. And look, today, more than ever, you have to educate. So if you can answer the questions that your prospects are asking online, you're going to win this game. Now, that's marketing. It's all marketing. the challenge I think people have with that model is it's not fast. It's that sprint versus marathon again. It takes time. You got to build it. You got to nurture those relationships. And yes, you do. But there is ways that you could do both. In other words, you have to create the content. So, meaning you have to answer the questions. Now, there's tools out there, and I'll give you one of them. It's called Answer the Public. So, Answer the Public scrapes all the questions that are being asked by your prospects online, and it gives you those questions. So, if you go in and type in, we'll choose AC repair. So, if I'm an AC company and people are looking for repair, any questions that people are asking Google are given to me. I have access to them today. This is the best time to build a company and to market your brand and to ultimately get inbound leads. Because if you can answer that in a creative way and solve people's problems, you're going to get business. Because what is it? How does it work? People do business with people they like and they trust. And you're gaining a lot of trust just by having your video rank on that first page. So yes, it is marketing, but it doesn't have to take so long because now you have that content, those videos, and this is what I was explaining, how we could leverage it. We have these videos that you created, and I want you to create 30, 40, 50 videos answering questions that people have, that your prospects are asking online. Now you have these videos. Now you can run ads. So now that's instant. There's your sprint right there. There's your sales side, and run ads to get in front of people that are actually searching on Google. So again, if they're typing that question in, and it might take a little bit of time for that video to rank, which is the marathon. But if you want to get it up there fast, the sprint, we just run an ad. And now you can instantly get that traffic that's coming to that and to watch that video. So, I'm very passionate about this because I've seen firsthand in 14 years that I've been doing digital marketing how powerful content can be. It's got to be done the right way. So a lot of people just create content to create content. But if you, like Dr. Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind, meaning the end is you want leads, inbound, you want people calling you. So how do we do that? Begin with the end in mind. We want leads. All right. How are those people searching online? First thing we have to find out. So what I do is extensive research to find that out. And I use tools like Answer the Public. And there's other tools out there that we use, but through that, I come up with a list of questions, right? And then I answer the client. My client would answer those questions. And the reason I use the sprinter for this, because I have this executive sprinter, which I'm in right now, is because it just gives that a little bit of the wow factor. It gives that cool little, it looks different. Everybody's sitting, at their desk or on a Zoom video. And I don't know, this makes it look different. So, and that gets people's attention. So, and it doesn't have to be in the sprinter. It could be somewhere else, but stand out is really what you want to do with the content you create. But you got to answer that. Now, look, there's 4 different types of ways to answer that content. You could do it in video. You could do it in audio, which is a podcast. You could do it in an image, which would be a post picture, and then just, write text, but using a picture, an image. Or you could do it in video. So video, audio, image, text. Those are the 4 ways that you can distribute the content that you're answering, the problem you're solving, basically. So once you've identified the questions that your prospects are asking, now we need to choose which one is your strength. Look, some people might not want to do video. They don't want to be on a video. And I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people might say, I can't stand writing. Well, that's a bad excuse today, because now with AI and technology, you don't really even have to write yourself. But you should be covering all those grounds. Now, the reason I'm so big on podcasts and why I think it's such a powerful tool is because Not that people are going to just sit and listen to me as they drive to work and hear. That's not why. But this piece of content, I'll use this as an example, and I'll show you, I'll document how I do this along the way. But I am going to take this piece of content. This took me, by the way, I don't know, it's going to be a 20-minute video when it's done. And it took me 20 minutes, right? I'm not reading a screen or doing anything. I didn't prep for it. I mean, I know this stuff. So I'm just talking and I'm solving problems that people have, which in this case is marketing versus sales, right? So I take this, I take the audio, which is right here. I pull that out. There's my podcast, which is Opportunity Knocks. And that's going to be on Apple, on Spotify, on anywhere that you listen to a podcast, you can listen to this. There's one piece of distribution. By the way, it's free. This costs nothing. So that's the first one. The second one is the video. So here's the beauty of video now, because of this video that I take, which isn't too exciting because it's just me looking at the camera, is we'll edit this up and I'll have a little bit of B-roll put in the middle just to mix it up and make it look good. I'll cut it into shorts, right? And I'll get out of this probably 25 pieces of content, 20, maybe not that many, maybe 15 pieces of content, short clips, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I now take those clips and I optimize those on the second largest search engine, which is Google. People like to go to Google and search. So whatever industry you're in, and people are looking on that on YouTube. They're looking because they like to watch versus read. So if there's use the same example I gave, AC company. So if I'm an AC company and I have a series of videos that solves problems, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm trying to build trust, and I'm doing that by letting that consumer know that I know what the hell I'm talking about around ACs. So I'm putting out anything that has to do with educating and helping that consumer. One of those questions they're going to ask is price. How much does it cost to repair an AC? In the past, people would say, I'm not answering that. No way. Because if my competitors hear that, I'm done. And that's the dumbest. That's such a small thinking. Price. If your prospects want to know the answer to price, you answer it. If they want to know what the answer is to how much it costs to do that, you be the one to answer it, and you're going to see your trust goes through the roof. So be transparent. Don't hold back anything. Just be honest and transparent with this video and with this podcast, and you'll win big. But now I've optimized each video, right, on YouTube, and I have, let's call it 10, 15 videos that are out there from this podcast. And now I have these short videos, and each one of those has the question that I'm answering in it, right? So one might be around doing research to find out how people are asking questions online. Well, if that's the question, and I find out the question that people are asking, that's going to be the topic. And then the video is going to be followed by that. So that way, when somebody searches, it ranks higher up, and it takes time to rank. But let me pause for a second, because I also want to talk about how you can use this in your sales process. So what we're talking about now is a foundation, setting this content, laying this content out so that 5 years from now, 6 years from now, it's still there. It's actually performing better 5 years from now. But in addition to that, you could use that piece of content in your sales process. So let's just say that you have a salesperson that always gets the same questions asked all the time, and their reply, type it out. They might spend every week an hour just typing out the answer to that thing. Now you just put a video link, PS, and they don't have to type it. It's all automatically in the PS. You might have, we've worked with a lot of clients in the past that have these questions. Here are a few videos in case you have it. First question, there's your video. Clients love that, because it lets them know that, number one, you're saving their time too, and you're solving a problem that they had, which is the ultimate goal, is that you become a problem solver. So now we have videos that are optimized on YouTube, but we also have content. And how do we do that? real simple. We transcribe your podcast into the form of text. So every word I'm saying right now, it's transcribed. And, this is, technology does this for us. So now we take that transcription and we break it up into sections. And there's blog posts. We might get 5 or 6 blog posts just from this. And what does blogging do? It helps your website rank, which generates leads. I'll tell you a quick story. When I did a HubSpot inbound conference, probably 4 years ago, it was right before COVID, 4 or 5 years ago. One of the things that the head marketing person at HubSpot, she was basically starting off and she was on stage. She had a big slide, a huge slide, a projector. But on the slide was something that was what she said was our number one lead source at HubSpot. So meaning companies, like agencies, were calling HubSpot saying, I want to do business with you. And it came from this article that was written, or this blog post rather. So she said, this is our number one, to this day, our number one source of traffic and leads. And her next slide, when she hit the button, showed the date that got published. And it was 6 years before the date that she was presenting. I was amazed by that. So in other words, no salespeople, there's no salary. It's a piece of content that was created 6 years ago that today, 4 years ago, 6 years later, was generating the most traffic and leads and business for a huge company like HubSpot. That's phenomenal. And that alone right there should encourage you to say, I have to, put a content strategy in place. I have to get really good content and distribute it out there. Going back to the video that I'm doing now. So now I have the 15 pieces of content that's on YouTube, uploaded on my YouTube channel, optimized. I added it to my sales process, maybe email, newsletter as well, that you send out, monthly newsletter. You take your best clip out of the 15 and I'll put that in my newsletter. And then I also transcribed it and I used it as a blog post. So now I cut those up and I created 4 or 5, 6, whatever it is, blog posts from it. And I time those out. So every day I'm posting a different blog, which Google likes because it's frequent. You're posting really good stuff. So, and then you also have social media posts that you can take pictures and images. So I can take a screenshot of me talking now and, maybe making like a face that will get, and boom, I'll take that. That looks a little scary. But for those of you watching the podcast and aren't watching, it was not my best look. But anyway, I'll take a screenshot, boom, and then I'll write a little. Actually, I don't have to write anything new. I can just take what the transcript is, excerpt from it, and post that. And there's social media posts. So I'm handling all my social media posts. This is the best content possible because it's real. And I have the blog posts, I have the YouTube videos, and I spent 20 minutes of my time, 19 minutes exactly I'm at right now, to do that. So I'm passionate about this because I've seen it work. I've done it to many clients, and it's the reason why I started my business, which I'm doing consulting for companies to help them build out these strategies. And I'm using my Sprinter to do it, and it's real simple. I drive my Sprinter to the business. They come in. I've done the research already, so I fire away like a Q&A. So it's not so much a podcast. It's more of a Q&A, but I create a lot of good content for them. And then I optimize it and it ranks, and they get videos, they get social media posts, and they can do all they want. Now, I'm not doing the agency part. I'm just doing the content side of it. But this stuff works, guys. This works. And again, if you want to have that sprint and you want to do it fast and you need to do it immediately, just run ads to the blog post, or to, so people can read this and see this. And that's going to work because they're asking those questions on Google. It's the only way the ad will show up. Now you're buying that traffic. So this stuff works. And then the last part I'll end with is all the things that you're doing now with these podcasts are going to then create a library of content that a newsletter is the other thing. Email is not dead. So your end result is from creating the podcast, the videos, the blogs, all these different pieces of content. You also have a newsletter that you're creating, which will be the highlights, the best parts of this video. I will use in the newsletter. So if you're not following Opportunity Knocks, I hope you do. I have some exciting stuff coming up, and thank you for listening to this. This concludes the episode of Opportunity Knocks.